Today we're going to talk about beavers, nature's engineers. So where do the beavers live? Well, the beavers live in a lodge, and this is their home. They build the lodge out of branches and grasses and mud. And the grasses and mud really fill in the spaces and make it packed in and really keep it nice and cozy for the beavers inside the lodge. They have their entrances underneath the water, so you won't see them coming and going in and out of the lodge. And they have usually one big room, but they do have a section where they can dry off a bit and then proceed into the main part of the den, so they're not dragging in lots of mud and water, and they can stay dry. So the beavers live in freshwater lakes, rivers, ponds, streams, marshes, swamps, pretty much anywhere where you have water, you could find beavers. So they live part-time on land and part-time in the water. They live in large groups called colonies. They're very territorial animals, and they're able to excrete a musk oil to mark their territory. So if an outside beaver tries to come into their territory, that's not going to happen. They will not accept that beaver into their area. However, they have been known to share their lodges with 1 or 2 muskrats. Although the muskrats do not get to stay there for free, they do help out, so basically paying a rent to stay there. And the muskrats will help to gather more aquatic plants to bring into the lodge for everyone in the lodge to eat during the winter. So what do beavers look like? Well, first of all, beavers are the world's second largest rodent. They are 45 to 60 pounds. Their length is 23 to 39 inches or 60 to 100 centimeters long. And then we add the tail, and that's another 8 to 12 inches or 20 to 30 centimeters long. They can swim up to 5 miles per hour or 8 kilometers per hour. And they typically will dive under the water for about 5 minutes. And if they're feeling threatened, though, they can stay under the water for up to 15 minutes. They also use the tail to slap water. They'll slap it, and that is to warn the family members of a predator that's in the area, or a different threat, possibly if a human person was too close, and also to help scare off that potential predator. So now we're going to talk about the beaver's teeth. So we did mention how the beaver is nature's engineer, or also we can call them the ecosystem engineer. Well, engineers have tools, and for the beaver, their teeth is their tool. The beaver's teeth are their tool of their trade. They are incredibly strong and incredibly sharp. They have 4 incisors, which are the front teeth here. They have 2 that come from the top and 2 from the bottom. You might notice that they're orange in color, and you might be thinking that they haven't brushed their teeth in a while. But what that orange is actually from is the iron that is in the enamel of their tooth. So that's on the front, and that iron helps to keep their teeth really strong, because they're chewing on trees and branches, right? So they need to have very, very strong teeth. So they eat the bark off of the trees, they eat the stems, they eat twigs, they like soft plant foods as well. They'll eat the grasses and mushrooms, they eat the leaves and ferns and roots of water plants. So it's not just the branches. They'll prune the trees, and what that pruning actually does is to stimulate growth for those plants. So it may take down part of the plants right now, but they're going to regrow into even bigger and more plants, additional plants. The beavers are primarily nocturnal, which means that they are out at night. So they'll hunt and work during the night. So your chances of seeing them are pretty slim. However, sometimes they will be out during the daytime. I think it just depends on their specific location. So we know what beavers eat. We know how their teeth work. We know how their fur protects them. And we know where they live. So what else is it that makes a beaver nature's engineer? Well, it's their amazing ability of building dams. Now you might be wondering, are dams a good thing? Yes, they are hugely beneficial for the environment and for people. So one of the primary purposes of the dams for the beavers is to create a pond around their lodge to help protect them from their predators, which are coyotes, bobcats, foxes, river otters, bears, and even great horned owls. So the other benefits of the dam are that they alter the flow of the rivers and the streams, they raise the water table, and they slow the speed of the water. So by altering the flow of the water, they're establishing, maintaining, and increasing the wetland area, which is a vital habitat for many species. Because our ecosystem is so dependent upon the beavers, we can call them the ecosystem engineers. They are also known as a keystone species because they enrich their ecosystems, they increase the biodiversity, and they increase the complexity and resiliency that our wetlands need in order to absorb the impact of the climate change. So we need to trust the restorative power of nature and our ability to play a positive role within it. In our area, Southeast Washington, we may find beaver activity along our main three rivers, which is the Columbia, we have the Yakima, and the Snake River, as well as streams that run off of these primary waterways. We all have a natural curiosity to view wildlife, and if you come across a beaver activity, please observe them from a safe distance. If they feel threatened, they can become very aggressive towards people and towards pets. So please keep your pets on a leash, especially if you're near beaver habitat, for the safety of you, your pet, and the beavers. It's a win-win for all. So thank you for joining me today to learn about beavers. You can get more information about Taptail Greenway at our website, taptail.org, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel.